Hello Year 9. I'm here to give you some information today about Edexcel GCSE History. That's the course we follow if you choose to take history into Year 10 and 11. It's really important that you make an informed choice, so you need to know what the sort of course will entail and what is expected of you as well, but also where that can take you. So let me just give you some of the key points that I want you to take away from this presentation. First thing that might come to mind if you're asking questions about the topic is, why do you want to study history? Okay, so obviously we want you to have an interest in it, we want you to be engaged and enthusiastic, but for me to elaborate on some of the reasons why I think you should study history, I'm just going to go through a few key points now. So obviously, first of all, is the sort of content. Okay, we've selected units that we think are interesting and relevant to you guys. For example, the first unit we teach is all about crime and punishment, right up to present day. So it's the story of how we've punished crimes, what our intentions around punishment are, what sort of crimes are common in society at various points. And obviously we come right up to modern day, talking about things like terrorism and modern crimes and how we punish our citizens in prisons. So that's relevant for us. It's a knowledge of our world that we live in, isn't it? Okay, and how our society has developed across time. So it links heavily to aspects of world, from work, world and wellness, our overall curriculum. The second unit we do is an Elizabeth unit, so it's about monarchy. So you may have heard of Elizabeth I. Hopefully you know that we've got Elizabeth II on the throne at the moment, longest reigning monarch. We're celebrating that this year. So monarchy and why it's been so important to Britain. So using the case study of Elizabeth I, we look at the role of the monarchy and how that developed and changed over there, that period, but also what influence it has on our society. We also look at other cultures. So there's a unit we do on the development of America. So obviously we're quite familiar with America through film and media, social media, various ways. But actually, how has that society evolved? So we look at the migration of Europeans to America and how that affected the environment there, and what happened to the Native Americans and where they are even now currently, and the sort of life chances that people in America have. So it's relevant to you guys. The last one we do is Weimar and the Weimar Republic and Nazi Germany. Everyone's familiar with Nazi Germany. The Weimar Republic is the government before Hitler got into power. So we talk about things like democracy and dictatorship and different types of government and how they have been used in the past. So although it's obviously based in history, the themes are relevant to all the things going on in the world today. We look at individuals, we look at famous individuals that may have changed the world or had an impact on the human race, and we look at changes and things that have stayed the same. We look at the significance of specific events. So alongside the content, you also develop a range of skills. Okay, so these skills are relevant for future study, not just in history, but in other areas, but also in the workplace. For example, communicating with writing, our written skills, constructing arguments, researching, investigating using evidence, and analysing and interpreting evidence as well. So those skills are all relevant for other workplaces or studies in college, university, A-levels, whatever it might be. Okay. A lot of people also wonder if teaching or working in a museum is the only thing you can do if you go on to study history. History at GCSE and A-level don't have to be specific to a job or a career. They are sort of standalone subjects which show a reasonable level of academic achievement should you do well, and are respected by further education, universities, but also workplaces, like I said, because of the skills they offer. So here are some of the careers that people go into, and like I say, the top ones aren't necessarily related specifically to history. So journalism, law, politics, archaeology, marketing, obviously teaching, and there's lots of others. That's just an insight into some of the range of careers that are on offer. So assessment in history is through just exams. Okay, there's no NEA or coursework element. So there's 3 papers and they reflect the units that I spoke about earlier. So crime and punishment is on paper 1, with an element of Whitechapel. You may be familiar with that, for Jack the Ripper. Paper 2 is early Elizabethan England, like I mentioned, and then the American West. And paper 3 is for Weimar and Nazi Germany. So you can see they sort of vary in length from an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. So it is academic and it is exam based, and you cannot expect to succeed at history unless you are a fan of writing. It is a written subject where the answers are long extended pieces of work. Okay, so the way we are successful at that in history is to practice those throughout the course as well. If you want any further information, you can easily access Edexcel History. If you just Google it, there's a link on this PowerPoint if you've got time to have a little look in your form groups, and you can always email me. So my are here, and obviously you have teachers of history who can tell you more. So ask your teacher to give you more details, or come to me for questions. Okay, so give it some careful consideration. It's a big choice, isn't it? It's a big step, but we are absolutely looking forward to our new cohort of Year 10s to take through the History GCSE. Thank you. Bye-bye.